Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane and this is Monument. Canoo drops plans for European production. Canoo will build its EVs in Arkansas and Oklahoma. So recently Canoo has decided against building some of its vehicles in Europe and will accelerate its production plans in the United States. The electric vehicle startup had inked a deal with contract manufacturer VDL Nedcar to build vehicles in Netherlands, but in recent statement confirmed that it will not move forward with the deal and will exclusively build vehicles in Oklahoma. Canoo added that bringing production to the United States will reduce supply chain vulnerabilities, increase the speed at which it brings the vehicles to customers, provide it with more control over new innovations and IP, increase local manufacturing jobs, and save thousands of dollars per unit by eliminating warranty risk, tariffs, and overseas shipping costs. Canoo expects to begin producing vehicles in Arkansas from next year, while its mega micro factory in Proya, Oklahoma will be operational in late 2023. The decision to build vehicles solely in the US has allowed the company to increase production estimates from 500 to 1,000 units in 2022, from between 500 to 1,000 units in 2022, up to between 3,000 and 6,000 units. It also intends on producing 4,000 to 17,000 vehicles in 2023, between 40,000 and 50,000 in 2024, and upwards of 70 to 80,000 in 2025. Canoo is now in a position to issue guidance at a time when many others in the industry are reducing targets and projections. Canoo Chairman and Chief Executive Tony Koala said the company has now refined its manufacturing strategies and assembled a team to execute the production roadmap for 2022 to 2025. In addition, we will be 100% built in the heartland of America, and we have proudly achieved another major milestone of having sourced 96% of our parts from US and allied nations. So this is quite interesting news from Canoo. Obviously, I'm not surprised that they want to start manufacturing and producing vehicles in the US, but I'm surprised that they show no immediate interest in producing vehicles in Europe, because there is a huge EV market in Europe as well and a need for new and revolutionary EV cars in Europe. Now additionally, Canoo plans to ramp up its Oklahoma assembly plant line. Canoo plans to shift production for its modular electric vehicle from Europe to the United States, as we were discussing before, changing from possibly being set in the Netherlands to Oklahoma. Now obviously the big aim for 2022 is that Canoo EV production in Arkansas shifts away from Netherlands plant. This is huge news. Last month the company announced it selected Beltonville, Arkansas as a new headquarter with an R&D center and a low-volume production facility there, which now assume initial production before the Oklahoma factory is finished. The Oklahoma factory was announced in June, but at the time Canoo said it planned to use the VDL Nedcar as its contract manufacturing partner until the facility was ready. The change of plans obviously allows Canoo to access incentives from Arkansas and Oklahoma earlier, according to the release confirming the end of discussion with Dutch firm. Canoo also cited reduced supply chain vulnerability, as we were saying before, and this is going to have a huge impact with Canoo, because while they're doing everything in America, it's just going to be easier manufacturing and a smoother transition. It's completely understandable that Canoo wants to have a strong beginning in America before branching out to Europe. It's completely understandable. But I do think a company like Canoo does need more funding, so that allows them to also think about making a factory in Europe as well for vehicle manufacturing. Now in additional news, Canoo loses Chief Technological Officer and 2 co-founders. This news was published around the 20th of December, but it's still important to the company today. Now Canoo is losing 3 top executives, including its Chief Technological Officer, Peter Salvagain. As part of an apparent shakeup of its leadership team, the former chief engineer of General Motors' EV1 electric car will leave Canoo at the end of 2021, according to the last line of press release published. This is big for Canoo because they're going through a shakeup in leadership, but not just that, they're also leaning away from European manufacturing in order to focus on American manufacturing. 3 of the original founding group remains. Sohail Merchant will replace Savian as CTO. Richard Keum, Canoo's chief designer, is now also going to be in charge of creative content and an interim basis merchandising. And third, Christoph Kuttner remains in charge of the interior and exterior trim of Canoo's vehicles. Now, Canoo was founded in late 2017 when former BMW executive Stefan Kraus left then struggling EV startup Faraday Future. Kraus and some of the other executives who co-founded Canoo, which was then called eVelocity, were sued by Faraday Future for poaching employees and allegedly stealing trade secrets, though the lawsuit was settled in late 2018. Kraus left Canoo in June 2020 before it merged with a special acquisition company, also known as a SPAC, and became listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. The details of Canoo's SPAC merger are currently being probed by the Security and Exchange Commissioner. Kraus' replacement follows Canoo co-founder and former BMW executive resigned this past April and took a job with Apple working on a secretive electric autonomous car project. Original powertrain lead and co-founder Phil Reichner left in early 2021. Now, most of this news is official on the Canoo website. You can actually look at their blog section, and it simply says, Canoo announcing it will accelerate and now shift production of its breakthrough electric vehicles from Europe to United States. The company will begin manufacturing its advanced industrialization facility plan for Northwest Arkansas and remains on the target to bring online its mega microfactory in Pryor, Oklahoma in late 2023. Most of the numbers that are available in this article are the exact same that I've spoken about before. The expectations throughout 2022 from 3,000 to 6,000 vehicles should be built and delivered this year by Canoo. And as for next year, the number should be around 14,000 to 17,000 vehicles. Taking all of this into account, given that we have some more precise information on how Canoo plans on building for the next few years, this gives us a great guidance of where the Canoo stocks will actually be stable at. Now, this is the plan for the next 4 years for Canoo, so I can safely say, within the next 4 years, Canoo is not going to 10x. There are some electric vehicle companies that I look at and I say those electric vehicles companies can 10x in the next 4 to 5 years. Unfortunately, I don't think Canoo is one of these companies because it simply doesn't have the numbers to support such a huge evaluation. Now, Canoo currently sits at $7.72. The value of the company is $1.8 billion. I can see this number rising to $5-6 billion. That's within the next 4 to 5 years, depending on how well Canoo does with their deliveries and their manufacturing. But given where the company is right now, it's going to be quite interesting to see how the market reacts to Canoo when they officially start delivering 3,000, 6,000 vehicles, and that will give us an even more accurate representation of where the stocks should be and where the company lies as in terms of the market cap and valuation. But for the future, it's not a 10x stocks, I'd say, for the 4 to 5 years period. I'd say for Canoo to 10x, we're looking at 7 years to 10 years. Now, if Canoo did merge with another big EV manufacturer, then this could speed up the process a lot. But I don't see that happening unless Canoo are struggling extremely, especially with the cost of building electric vehicles. Now, in additional, we can end this news on some good points. Canoo Lifestyle Vehicle takes home award from Best Zero Emission Vans at LA Auto Show. Canoo, a company manufacturing breakthrough electric vehicles, its LV is receiving the People's Choice Award for the Best Zero Emission Van of the LA Auto Show's inaugural Zero Emission Vehicle Award program. Canoo was amongst 27 finalists who were selected from 90 qualifying zero-emission vehicles that are currently available for purchase or pre-orders. Inviting the public to participate in voting for the winner, startup auto brands across 9 categories, from compact to coupes and sedans to crossovers, SUVs and trucks, the lifestyle vehicle received the most votes in the hatchback van wagon category, beating the likes of Audi e-tron and Faraday Future FF91. It is Canoo's first vehicle to market 2022 and available for non-binding pre-orders on the company's website. This is exciting. This is big for Canoo because it's basically a huge advertisement for Canoo, so it's quite fantastic. However, we have to remember and we have to take into account that Canoo still has not delivered any vehicles as of yet. So we have to wait to see how this year goes with delivering between 3,000 to 6,000 vehicles. But up until that point, this award could be completely irrelevant depending on how the year goes. Now don't get me wrong, I think Canoo is a very promising brand, but they do need more funding and they do need to ramp up manufacturing, not just in the US, but they also need to plan for the future of Europe as well. But considering how low their expectations of deliveries are in terms of numbers of vehicles being built and delivered, it's going to be a long time before Canoo starts any plans of building a factory in Europe. But I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If I missed anything, leave a comment below. Let's have a discussion. Leave a like and subscribe, and obviously, I will see you in my next video.